You're floating in the shadows of an abandoned mansion, waiting. 3 years you've been here. 3 years of watching dust settle on broken furniture, of scaring away anyone who dares enter your sanctuary. Your old trainer promised he'd come back. He lied. But you don't know that yet. You're still hoping, still believing that loyalty means something. You're about to learn it doesn't. The floorboards creak above you, but it's just the wind. Always just the wind. You phase through the rotting walls, checking every room for the 100th time today. Maybe he left a note. Maybe there's some sign he's coming back. There isn't. There never is. But you keep looking because what else is a ghost type supposed to do when the only thing scarier than being abandoned is admitting you've been abandoned? Your first trainer didn't see you as a partner. He saw you as a curse. Every lost battle, every failed catch, every stroke of bad luck got blamed on you. The ghost type that brought nothing but misfortune. "It's that damn Gengar," he'd mutter after another gym loss. "Nothing but bad luck since I caught the thing." So he did what seemed logical to him. He brought you to this crumbling mansion on the outskirts of Vermilion City and told you to wait. "I'll be back," he said, not meeting your eyes. "Just stay here for a while. Guard the place." You believed him because that's what Pokémon do. We trust our trainers completely, even when they don't deserve it. Days turn to weeks. Weeks turn to months. You kept vigil in that decaying building, scaring away potential buyers and visitors because you thought they might disturb the place before your trainer returned. You were protecting his property, being a good Pokémon. You had no idea you were just protecting your own prison. The mansion became your world. 13 rooms of peeling wallpaper and memories that weren't yours. You learned every shadow, every creaking board, every way the moonlight fell through broken shutters. You practiced your moves on dust motes and cobwebs, keeping sharp for when he'd need you again. Because he would need you again. He had to. 3 years later, you're still there when Ash and his friends discover you. You're hostile, aggressive, lashing out at anyone who enters. But it's not malice, it's desperation. Every human who walks through that door might be the one who abandoned you, and you don't know whether you want to attack them or beg them to take you back. You follow them in secret, hiding in Ash's shadow, drawn to something familiar about his bond with Pikachu. The way he talks to his Pokémon, the way he celebrates their victories, mourns their defeats. It's everything you thought you had once. Everything you're starting to realize you never actually had. Then it happens. You're lurking near a Pokémon Center when you overhear a conversation that shatters everything. Your old trainer is there, bragging to his girlfriend about his recent success. "Best thing I ever did was get rid of that cursed Gengar," he laughs. "My luck's been incredible ever since. Got promoted at work, won the lottery twice, even caught a shiny Pokémon last week." He never intended to come back. He never cared about you at all. You were just a scapegoat for his own failures, and abandoning you was the plan all along. 3 years of waiting, of hoping, of believing in a lie that he probably forgot the moment he walked away from that mansion. The betrayal hits like a shadow ball to the chest. 3 years of waiting, of hoping, of believing in a lie. Your grief transforms into pure rage. You attack him with everything you have. Shadow balls flying, nightshade engulfing the street, wanting him to feel even a fraction of the pain he caused you. But he just runs, calling you exactly what he always did. A curse, a mistake, something to be avoided. "See?" he shouts to anyone who'll listen. "That thing's nothing but trouble. I told you it was cursed. Even now, even when you're the one with every right to be angry, he's painting you as the villain. You chase him through the streets, your rage making you reckless. Windows shatter from your psychic energy, street lamps flicker and die. You're becoming everything he said you were, a harbinger of chaos and misfortune. But you don't care anymore. If the world wants to see you as a monster, then maybe it's time to be one. Team Rocket finds you in your lowest moment and tries to capture you. Even criminal organizations see more value in you than your trainer did. A ghost type this powerful? Jesse cackles. We'll be rich. But you're done trusting humans. You fight them off with a fury that surprises even you, ready to spend eternity alone in that mansion, nursing your wounds and your hatred. You return to your prison, but now it feels different. The shadows seem darker, the silence more oppressive. You float through empty rooms, replaying every moment with your trainer, looking for signs you missed. Were there clues he was planning to abandon you? Did he ever actually care? Or were you just fooling yourself from the beginning? The mansion becomes a monument to your bitterness. You scare away everyone who enters. Real estate agents, urban explorers, even other ghost types looking for shelter. This is your domain of misery, and you'll defend it with everything you have. Because if you can't have loyalty, at least you can have solitude. Then Ash does something your trainer never did. He fights for you. Not to capture you, not to use you, but to protect you from Team Rocket when they return with better equipment and more determination. When you're both exhausted from the battle, when you've helped him defeat the criminals who try to cage you, he collapses from fever brought on by overexertion. You could leave him there. You could disappear back into the shadows and let him become someone else's problem. But something about the way he protected you, the way he treated you like a partner instead of a tool, makes you hesitate. This human boy fought Team Rocket not for glory or gain, but because it was the right thing to do. So you carry him home, phasing through walls and floating over obstacles, delivering him safely to the Pokémon Center. And when he wakes up, you make a choice that terrifies you. You drop a Pokéball at his feet. You're asking to be caught, to trust again, to risk another abandonment. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't being alone, it's hoping again. Life with Ash is everything you dreamed your first trainer relationship could be. He relies on you in battles, celebrates your victories, never blames you for losses. "Great job, Gengar!" he shouts after you defeat a particularly tough opponent. That Shadow Ball was perfect. You become his go-to ghost type, helping him climb the World Coronation Series rankings with strategies that play to your strengths instead of treating you like a liability. You even learn to Gigantamax, becoming more powerful than you ever imagined possible. The first time you transform, towering over the battlefield with purple energy crackling around you, Ash's face lights up with pure joy. "This is incredible, Gengar! You're incredible! For the first time in years, you feel genuinely proud of what you are." But the shadow of abandonment never fully leaves. Every time Ash makes a strategic decision to switch you out, every time he chooses another Pokémon for a crucial battle, that old fear whispers, what if he decides you're not worth it either? What if you're still just bad luck waiting to happen? The fear becomes reality during Ash's championship run. In crucial battles against the world's strongest trainers, you give everything you have. Against Leon's Inteleon, you execute a perfect Gigantamax strategy, your Max Ooze overwhelming the water type's defenses. "Yes! That's my Gengar!" Ash cheers, and for a moment, you feel invincible. You burn Steven's Aggron with Will-O-Wisp and take down one of the most defensive Pokémon in existence with relentless Shadow Balls. You're proving your worth on the biggest stage possible, showing the world that you're not a curse, you're a champion's partner. But you also lose. Against Cynthia's Spiritomb, your fellow ghost type proves stronger, more experienced. Against Leon's Mr. Rime, type disadvantage and bad timing cost you the match. Each defeat brings back that familiar terror. Will this be the loss that makes Ash realize you're the problem? Will he start looking at you the way your first trainer did? You watch his face after each loss, searching for signs of disappointment, of regret. But they never come. Instead, he kneels beside you, helps you to your feet, and says things like, "You did great out there, Gengar. We'll get them next time." The unconditional support feels foreign, almost suspicious. Surely there's a limit to his patience? It never happens. Win or lose, Ash never abandons you. He never calls you cursed. He never makes you wait alone in empty buildings. When you're injured in battle, he rushes you to the Pokémon Center himself. When you're feeling down after a tough loss, he sits with you and talks through what went wrong, never placing blame, always looking for ways to improve together. You finally understand what your first trainer never did, that loyalty isn't about never losing, it's about never giving up on each other. Ash doesn't see your defeats as proof that you're unlucky. He sees them as learning opportunities, chances to grow stronger together. Your worth isn't determined by your win-loss record, but by the bond you've built and the trust you've chosen to give. The mansion where you waited for 3 years becomes a distant memory, replaced by adventures across regions, battles in grand stadiums, and quiet moments around campfires where Ash tells you about his dreams and you finally feel safe enough to let your guard down. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. Months pass and you notice changes in yourself that have nothing to do with battle prowess. You're more playful now, pulling harmless pranks on Ash's other Pokémon, joining in their games instead of lurking in the shadows. You laugh, actually laugh, when Pikachu gets startled by one of your surprise appearances. The sound surprises you. You'd forgotten you could make sounds of joy. You start protecting the team not out of duty, but out of genuine affection. When Team Rocket attacks, you don't just fight them off, you enjoy it, relishing the chance to defend your real family. "Nobody messes with my trainer" becomes your battle cry, and you mean every word. The other Pokémon on Ash's team accept you completely. Pikachu shares his ketchup. Lucario meditates with you in the mornings. Even the newer additions treat you like a respected veteran, asking for advice and looking up to your experience. You're not the cursed outsider anymore, you're the team's elder, the one they turn to when things get tough. You started as an abandoned Pokémon haunting an empty mansion, convinced you were cursed. You became a champion's partner, feared by the world's strongest trainers not because you bring bad luck, but because you bring skill, determination, and the unbreakable bond forged between a trainer who never gives up and a Pokémon who learned to trust again. The difference wasn't your power, though Gigantamax certainly helped. It wasn't your moves, your type advantages, or your battle record. It was finding someone who saw your value even when you couldn't see it yourself. Someone who proved that not all humans are like your first trainer. Someone who showed you that loyalty is a two-way street built on mutual respect and genuine care. That's why it sucked to be Ash's Gengar at first. Not because of Ash, but because of everything that came before him. The real tragedy isn't the Pokémon who get abandoned. It's all the time they waste believing they deserved it. All the walls they build to protect themselves from pain, all the opportunities for connection they miss because they're too afraid to hope. But sometimes, if you're very lucky, someone comes along who's willing to fight for you, to wait for you to heal, to prove through actions rather than words that not everyone will leave. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is drop that Pokeball at their feet and trust that this time will be different. And sometimes, just sometimes, it is.